Ooh, I just thought of something really fun for us to talk about. Sonic's design in the movie.
Do we have to?
No, I don't care at all, so I don't have much to say. It looks stupid. I'm not gonna watch the film. That's my take.
I just gotta say, I think it is beautiful to see the Sonic fandom so united for once, because there's always this squabbling, this back and forth, or people being dismissed as nitpicking for being annoyed by certain things. But when they released that first poster, and when they released the new images of Sonic especially, it was like harmony. Like, just about everyone was on the same page for once. And it's like, it was just so beautiful to see, because I'd never seen that in the Sonic fandom before. To see everybody united against something.
I mean, I'm gonna see the movie. I've been waiting like my whole life for a Sonic movie. I can't not see it. But the worst thing it could possibly be is boring. If it's just mediocre and kind of middle of the road and doesn't really make you feel anything one way or the other. But I'm really hoping and thinking it's just going to be a dumpster fire of epic proportions, and I can't wait.
See, what bothers me about this whole thing is that people are so up in arms and they're so crazy, and it's like, oh, the design sucks ass and the movie is gonna suck. but y'all gonna watch it anyway. So you're giving them the money. You're encouraging them to do here what you're against. So
I don't think I'm gonna watch it.
If you don't like it, don't watch it.
I don't think I'm gonna watch it.
But I know people are gonna watch it because it's Sonic.
No, look, I get why people...
super hard mode version of the stage, the rail boosters are way faster.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it is.
I understand why people are up in arms about it too, though, even if, whether they're gonna watch it or not. It's that this is a very mainstream thing. It's a movie. It's gonna get some attention. It's gonna get some buzz. It's gonna, people who have not thought about Sonic in years are gonna hear about this or see posters for it. And people are worried about the kind of damage that might do to the brand.
I mean, let's be honest. How big do you think this film will be anyway? I don't think it will do that well. Did the Ratchet and Clank movie do well at all?
Not really.
No.
It was a garbage fire, but I don't think many people watched it anyway.
I'm not sure I'm gonna watch this movie or not. I probably won't. It's just like if people really pester me to review it or something, then I might have to. The thing that screws me up the most about Sonic's design is how they put this little white stripe between his eyes, just above his muzzle, to recreate that mono eye look. They didn't have to do that. They could have just left it out and let them be normal eyes. And his hands being white fur instead of gloves. Why did they do that? And he doesn't even have socks. Why were they so determined to make him naked? Why did they make him like this streaker?
And then after all the backlash, almost a week later, I'm pretty sure, they came out and said, well, that's a leaked design. That's not final. That's not... I do kind of feel like they might just be going back to the drawing board and being like, okay, how can we know now, perhaps, that this is not going to be popular with anyone.
It has to be too late to change it now.
You would really think so.
I think
this
the film
movie has to be
well
on to production.
I think it must be close to finishing by now.
Yeah.
Because when is it coming out? This year?
November.
Now I'm just excited.
Yeah, there's no way that it's still a halfway production.
Yeah. Now I'm excited to see how Jim Carrey will look as Doc Eggman. So are they going to make a CG Eggman model and just have Jim Carrey voice it? Or is it going to be Jim Carrey wearing a fat suit?
I've heard that what they're going to do is Jim Carrey's going to play like a real person who has a transformation.
Oh my word.
Gets the mustache. But it's just a rumor. It's probably not true.
That would be perfect. It's just like the Sonic the Comic, the UK version, where he was this guy Kindlebar, who was actually one of Sonic's friends, and he was this kindly old scientist, and then one day he got fused with a rotten egg and became Eggman. Robotnik, whatever.
But see, stuff like that is probably why I'm not as up in arms about this as some people are, because the Sonic, literally from the very beginning, Sonic has had so many different continuities and so many different iterations, and it's been really easy to just say okay, well, I don't like this particular, I'm not a big fan of this particular instance, version of Sonic, but that's fine because that doesn't invalidate or take anything away from all the versions or all the characters or all the stories that I do like. So
That's the thing that's kind of troubling to me is that in recent years, actually, I think they've done a pretty commendable job trying to simplify things, trying to unite what were like 70 different fan bases into like 3. You know, like when the summer of Sonic, when they
what?
Oh my God! What was that death?
Oops.
Just standard radical train bullshit.
Remember back when they revealed when they revealed Sonic Mania for the first time, and they had this poster that classic Sonic, modern Sonic, Boom Sonic. Yeah, it's dumb to have 3 Sonics, but they were trying to condense what was like dozens of different segments of the community and try to unite them into 3. That was a pretty good effort, but then we get this movie, and I'm just thinking, oh great, this is just gonna divide people again. Or maybe not, because like I said, people are almost unanimously against this, but I'm sure when it comes out, some will enjoy it more than they expected, and we will have another separate segment of the Sonic community that believes that's the way it should be. We're going to have kids who saw that movie, then checked out the games, and wish the games were more like the movie.
That probably will happen, yeah.
Because that's the thing, every Sonic game is somebody's first Sonic game, and that's what Sonic is in their mind.
Well,
yeah, just like how this was my first Sonic game.
one thing that I kind of do wish that Sega and Sonic Team would sort of stop doing is almost like leaning into the division. Although I guess I don't know what you... Like, it bothered me a little bit, like, when Mania was revealed that after that reveal, and everybody was very happy about it, and then they felt the need to keep going, now, if you like modern Sonic, don't worry, we have something for you coming too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind having different divisions of the fan base, but like what I might compare it to is something like Spider-Man.
Sega should pick one thing and run with it.
No, actually, I don't think that's the case either. I don't think that you need to consolidate everything, and sorry for talking over you all. Let you make your point, but it's just that, like, it's okay if there's lots of different continuities and iterations and even styles of games, but I don't think that Sega should ever, like, portray it as, like, okay, well, if you don't like classic Sonic, then don't worry, we have something coming up for you too. Like, it shouldn't be, like, so very clearly delineated like that. Like, you'd never hear Spider-Man say, now, if you're not a fan of the Tobey Maguire movies, don't worry, Tom Holland fans, we have something coming up for you too.
Even though Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man, don't at me.
Well, yeah, fans.
I think they feel they have to do that because they know that some people just don't like classic Sonic. And I remember when Mania was like still a new thing, there was a portion of the fan base that were panicking because they thought, oh no, if this game does really well, we're never going to get any more 3D Sonic games. We're not going to get any more modern Sonic games. It's just going to be nostalgia-baiting classic Sonic crap forever. Like, to some people, like to me, more classic Sonic sounds great, but to some, that's not what they want at all.
And yeah, I'll raise my hand on that one.
That's kind of what
I don't have a problem with there being like a side series for it, but it's just like I remember when Forces came out, the developers like heard that Mania did better than they expected or whatever, and then they were like, "That's interesting. What does that mean?" Does that mean that classic Sonic's gonna have to show up in every 3D game now, like he did in Forces?
But that's what I mean. I don't like it when game developers are pulling from like all different kinds of divisions from the fan base and consolidating it into one game and be like, there's something for you and for you and for you.
And that was
you gotta
exactly
stick to one vision.
And that was
you gotta stick to one vision.
Well, I think on a per game basis you do for sure.
Ton of different bullshit.
Like, the reason that Sonic Mania was so well received is because it knew exactly what kind of a game it wanted to be and it executed on that. And it wasn't trying to incorporate all this extraneous bullshit to try to please like everybody.
Yeah.
Like, if a Sonic game is going to like build on what worked about the adventure formula, then it should go all in on that. If it's going to like try to do an evolution of the boost formula, it should go all in on that. Like, having classic Sonic in Generations was great for an anniversary game, but like that shouldn't be like the status quo from now on for any 3D Sonic game.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, if you look at Sonic Mania, right? Some people don't like it because they don't like classic Sonic, but the people who do like classic Sonic love it. So, in the eyes of some people, Sonic Mania is an amazing game, and others don't care about it. I mean, who thinks Sonic Forces is an amazing game? I think whatever kind of person you are in the fan base, generally the opinion is it's mediocre. No matter if you're a fan of modern Sonic, people are saying it's mediocre.
and I guess
And that's because
go ahead.
there's nobody saying this is amazing, and then other people are like, just, I don't care about it. Instead, everybody's kind of universally being like, yeah, this game, whatever.
Yeah, because they attempted to please everyone and they pleased no one.
Yeah. Whereas with Sonic Mania, yeah, you have people who don't care about it at all and maybe even hate it, like Exo does. But the people who do like classic Sonic think it's amazing.
That game to me is mediocre, but
They tried too hard to lean into the adventure era and got everything wrong about it. But before we go any further, I just want to point out one thing about like this game. I find it kind of interesting the way the levels are divvied up, because for like this chunk of the Sonic story, they build up the 3 days thing and they make you think that this is like Eggman Space and that this is going to be where it ends. But then you switch over to Frog Forest, and it's very reminiscent of like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, how, you know, that gets split down the middle, and
it even looks like Mushroom Hill Zone.
Yeah, that's kind of like its own beginning of the next half of the game. So to me, this is like where the game changes. The stages start getting really long. They start introducing those giant egg puns with the hammers. It undergoes this shift. I think Bullet Station is like where the game gets the most exciting before it starts going really overboard, and it does almost feel like two different games to me.
Exo, if you're gonna run out of lives, I'm gonna.
I have
7 lives.
plenty
Okay.
of lives,
Good.
RZ. Don't worry.
Because I was not gonna sit there for another 3 hours if you ran out of lives.
Yeah, I have plenty of lives.
What?
Good.
It's just super hard mode does have like a couple of moments like this right here.
Oh boy.
Nick can't see it where
I remember
like they have you doing some dangerous shit over a bottomless pit.
I remember last time, like it was when we got to like Bullet Station, we noted how much this game tends to repeat itself, how it'll have this major set piece and then it'll do it a second time before the stage is over. Seems like most of them do that, but Bullet Station is one of the most obvious examples of it, where halfway through the stage you hop into a cannon and you go flying through this super long canyon, grabbing all these rings along the way, and then they do the same thing again at the end of the stage, except weirdly, that was much shorter and easier. You kind of think it'd be the other way around, but why they needed to do it more than once in the first place? Why couldn't they have just ended the stage that way?
I guess here's sort of why I think that Sega promoting The Division rubbed me the wrong way. Is that, like, I don't think it should ever, like, people are gonna, so there are some people who are gonna look at it this way regardless. There are some fans who are just only going to like one part of one part of what Sonic has been, or what it does, or what it is, to the exclusion of all the others. But, like, the way I look at it, like, Exo, I know you found Sonic Mania to be mediocre. It wasn't, like, what you would have wanted out of a Sonic game, whereas I put, like, 150 hours into it and counting. But the thing is, it's not.
I would feel different about it if there was like a Sonic Adventure Mania type deal going along with it.
Well, of course,
But,
of course.
You know, like as it is, it just seems like Forces came out and Mania came out the same year. And it's like Forces is, you know, it's still better than Unleashed. I'm gonna put my foot down on that one, but it is the weakest boost game easily. Also weaker than the Lost World, which I know that Josh doesn't like, but you know, still. And it's just like I feel like those two coming out at the same time means that we are just gonna get more classic Sonic, which isn't necessarily what I particularly want. I liked that Forces. It did remind me of the Adventure era when there were actual stakes in the plot. You know, and the plot actually tied into the levels.
But here's the thing,
You know,
like, the fact that the series did see such a renewed interest and so much like that Sonic Mania did really, really, really well critically and commercially, like, did that bother you? Did you feel like that was taking away from that was going to take away from what?
Well, it's one of those things where that kind of remains to be seen.
Sure.
What the fallout of that is going to be, but it does. I do think that part of the reason why, playing Sonic Mania the first time, I was just miserable playing it. And the reason for that wasn't necessarily because the game was bad or anything. It's more like, what is the impact of this game going to mean? Am I going to get things that I want out of the series?
Whereas for me, playing that game for the first time was the most joy I'd felt in, like, since playing a game since I was a kid.
That is because this game was made for you, I think is the point.
Yeah,
you got what you wanted out of that. That's great. And I don't have a problem with there being more games in that style for people who want that to enjoy it. My problem is that my fear is that that's going to become the only thing because of the way people reacted to forces and whatnot. I feel like I'm not going to be able to get something that appeals to me and what Sonic is for me because Mania did so well. And that's why it made me miserable to play, because it's like, of course this is going to be well received, because this is what people from a very specific age demographic think that Sonic always should have been.
Well, you know what?
And of course that's going to do well.
That is exactly how I have felt playing some other Sonic games, like when it comes to the adventure style, is that like Forces, it tried to have kind of an adventure feel, but it didn't have the adventure gameplay or control scheme, and the reason for that is Sonic 06. That plays like a Sonic adventure game, and it completely turned people off, or so that's what Sega believes, and they're worried that if they ever go back to that gameplay style, to having Sonic control similarly to how he played in the adventure games, people are gonna go, oh, what, it's just Sonic 06 again. They think that it's tainted that gameplay style. And that makes me really sad, because I would love it if they made a new game where Sonic can just run and jump around the way he did in those games, without having to drift or boost, and being able to just turn on a dime no matter how fast you're going. I love the way he moves in those games. And I would love if they made another adventure, like an Adventure Mania. But who knows if they will.
To be honest, I don't care what kind of style they go with, as long as they do it well.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
That's all I care about. I have the most nostalgia for classic Sonic, but I love the way Generations played and the way you can speedrun. I feel like speedrunning in Generations, the modern Sonic levels, is way more fun than classic Sonic. To me, personally, anyway. Even though I still like classic Sonic, I think overall more because it's the one I grew up with. I'll take any Sonic style as long as it's well done. And I feel like that's the problem that we're at right now, where I don't feel Forces was well done, I don't feel Lost World was well done, I felt like Generations was well done, Colors was okay, but I felt like it was way too basic for what it was, and then Unleashed had a lot of passion, but I felt like that overall was also a mess, so it's not
I do
the
love
style, I just think the quality of the end product is not there for me.
I do love the way Generations plays. I do enjoy playing as modern Sonic in those because the level design feels more like, the adventure games. It's a bit of a more even mix of platforming and speedy bits.
Well, yeah, level design was the major difference between
Generations, I feel, is like the closest thing to a perfect Sonic game, because it seems like pretty much everyone enjoys it.
Almost everyone.
For some reason or other, everyone loves something about it.
But I guess the thing, like, I suppose by Sega saying, now don't worry, modern Sonic fans, don't worry, like, if we've got something coming up for you too. Like, I feel like that just sort of engenders
like
or plays into the idea that, okay, well, if, like I'm gonna take something away from you in order to, like, this is all the series. It increases that worry in people, and like I said, some people are gonna be like that anyway. But EXO, I'm gonna raise an issue with you that I wanted to say for a long time. Like, as much as I enjoy your perspective on stuff, one thing that bothered me about your Sonic series, and I haven't seen you do this in a long time, was that, like, you kept labeling everybody who like grew up with the 16-bit games as classicists.
Yeah, I stopped doing that for a reason.
I figured, and I noticed that I hadn't seen or heard you do that in a long time. But I saw some people replying to you on Twitter a couple weeks ago and using that, and I'm like, oh man, I haven't heard him say that in a long time though. But like, I feel like that was just like saying like, okay, it's like this is you and this is me, and like when what Sega should be promoting and what we as a fandom should hopefully be promoting is that we're Sonic fans, and like I might like some things more and you might like different aspects of it more, but we're all Sonic fans and we all want to see it do well.
Yeah.